Still spinning this shit. So good. So good even, I mean, I'm a line cook for a living, and Sundays, of course, are like super, super busy. And while I'm just in this crazy just rush of busyness at work, this opening track, this is the opening track to the album, it's just in my head, and it's at maximum volume. It's just blasting, man. So it's like, I know there's a connection here. I just love this album so much. Thank you, Canyon Pickle. Holy crap. I love it so much. I've not been this into an album in quite some time. So yeah, this isn't even the topic, it's just what we're listening to. Further, the topic, I mean, is actually more about punk rock. I'm going to show you some punk rock records of artists that I've just been listening to for a long time, and that have been extremely influential to me in my punk rock history. You probably don't know, but I've done a lot of punk rock projects in my life. Starting with Millencolin. This is their newest album. I do have older material for them, and I've done videos for some of the Millencolin records I have. But this is their newest album, and I'm picking this one to show you because they're doing a US tour. Well, actually, they just are coming off of an Australian tour. They're kind of doing a world tour, I suppose, but the American leg of their tour either kicks off like now or soon. Either way, they're probably coming to your area if you're in America. I know I got a lot of friends in Houston. They are playing in Houston at Walters. They're playing at the Mohawk in Austin. And then for me, they're playing in Portland. That's the tickets I got. 2 tickets to Millencolin. But I've been in this Millencolin for so fucking long. Even behind me, you can see here. I guess the glare of the lights kind of blocking your view, but that's my autographed Nicola Sarcevic Freedom to Roam transparent red vinyl, super rare, autographed personally to James, gift from my wife. Freaking love it. It's like one of my most prized possessions. Count Lagerith. I didn't do the video of most, but that's definitely one of them. So yeah, the new Millencolin album, it's good. I just love anything from Millencolin. If you haven't tuned into Millencolin since, you know, the old skate days, expect a little more mainstream influence. I would just consider it more the evolution of Millencolin. This is a good album. Not really any bad songs on here, but nothing I'm really insanely crazy about, as much as, I know a lot of people didn't like the Machine 15 album, but man, I think that's my favorite. It's just got, I think Vicious Circle standalone is so good for me, but for that ska vibe that originally got me into Millencolin, I had to go with Four Monkeys. I consider that their ska album. I know there was something else I wanted to say about Millencolin before I move forward, but I'm not thinking of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and move forward now. So yeah, Millencolin. I got now some 30 Foot Fall. This is just on a black vinyl. I couldn't believe that I found a copy of this, still sealed. I think it's pressed in 1999. So 30 Foot Fall is, if you don't know, Houston, Texas punk rock band that have been active since, I believe, early 90s, maybe even 1990. Every album from them is good. Fucking, they still play. For me growing up, this was probably the band that made me discover punk rock, like, officially. There was a compilation that used to be let out in Houston by a local record label called Broken Note Records, and they did this No Approval Needed compilations. I don't know how often, but by the time I discovered them, it was already a done deal. They weren't doing these compilations anymore. But I discovered 30 Foot Fall through that. I guess I don't really need to show you the record, but it just comes with this like lyric sheet. But I discovered basically true punk rock that way. I heard the song Boogers for Brains from 30 Foot Fall, and just that opening snare drum, that really poppy snare, like so poppy snare, and it's just a drum roll that comes in and then it just kicks into that beat that you associate with punk rock. And hearing Butch's just whiny fucking nag fucking little brat, teenage brat vocal. I'm like, now that's what I wanted to sound like. I just loved this punk sound. This was not the album that I was as much into. I felt like this was like more their popular album. It has songs like Opposite Day. What's their other popular one off of here? Well, popular, I say. They never got the recognition they deserved. I know they're working on a new album. Maybe they're even done with it. Fuck Y'all, We're From Texas. I fucking love that. They do even a cover of Just Like Heaven on here. But yeah, I'm more preferred to their first album and second album. But man, yeah, the Doppler effect is oh, it's just any album. You can't go wrong. I went and saw them in Houston. They were playing this little bar. Aside from I went to 8 years in a row of their Christmas show. It's like a tradition. You always go see them on Christmas. But to me, like the most important show I ever attended at 30 Foot Fall, it was at this little bar, and there wasn't really many people there. And right before the show, I was just like sitting around, and the drummer just came over and he just handed me a 7-inch. It's their cartoon 7-inch on a transparent vinyl. And I let a friend borrow it way back in the day and never got it back. And man, I wish I still had that cartoon, this little 7-inch. I see it sometimes on Discogs, and I probably should pick it up. But man, 30 Foot Fall, you gotta check it out. Love 30 Foot Fall. Next up, I got Jello Biafra's most current Guantanamo School of Medicine release. I like this one because it sounds the most like Dead Kennedys. Obviously, the Dead Kennedys are basically a done deal. But I just love Jello Biafra. Why isn't this guy running for some kind of political office? In the 80s, of course, he did run for a mayor of California, and I think he came in like 3rd or 4th, which is pretty damn impressive. I gotta show you what's inside this. This is just such a great package. So, I mean, as you can see, you got the front cover with the Winston Smith style. I don't know, it probably is Winston Smith again, doing the artwork here with that really like cut and paste style of artwork, and it's this nice creepy looking baby and a bunch of, I don't know, this makes me think of that women rights movement that happens in the 60s, I suppose. And it comes with this fold out. Man, this is just such a great package. The music I like a lot. Like I said, it sounds more like the Dead Kennedys, and I personally don't own any Dead Kennedys records, but I would like to. They always were a very influential band to me. I remember first hearing the Dead Kennedys and thinking like, this is what punk rock is supposed to sound like. The way Jello was singing, that surfy style of guitar. I guess you can't really make out what all it is. It's really just lyrics and collage. And then it also comes in this printed inner sleeve, which is just it's a variation on that album cover artwork. And now she's in a field, and it is so fucking creepy. I goddamn love it. And the Guantanamo School of Medicine. What do we got here? This is the Working Forest. I'm thinking this is, it's making me think like Mount St. Helens or something. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they just destroyed the forest. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. But of course with Jello Biafra, it's always political. He's got a YouTube channel where you can hear him. I like watching his What Would Jello Do series, where he basically goes on a political rant, and I agree with him on pretty much everything he says, and he says it in such an entertaining way. So if you're a Dead Kennedys fan and you didn't know and you're interested, check out this Jello Biafra album, White People and the Damage Done. That's such a great title. And I'm loving this Miss Artham. Next up, I got G.G. Allen's Freaks, Faggots, Drunks, and Junkies. I like instantly like not for sale for under 18. Letting you know what you're in for in case you didn't already fucking know with the G.G. Allen. You already know who he is, I'm sure. The band you see him playing with here is not the Murder Junkies or the Center Street Sluts or any of those other ones that you know of, him being more popular playing for. There's a really nice quote from G.G. right here that I'm really happy to see. But anyway, this is the band that you have featured on here. I picked up this 7-inch for only a couple bucks, and it's a saw blade cut. Saw blade cut, little 7-inch, and they of course are pressing the fact that Legalize Murder, Words by G.G. Allin. Now, G.G. Allin is not performing on here, and the worst part for me is that this copy that I got has a skip in the one song that I would want, you know, the reason why I bought it. Well, I bought it because of Psycho in particular, but I was a little more hard-pressed to the purchase because of the Gigi featuring. But it's just his song. I think it's all they were saying, and like, hey, we were the band, we were there, whatever. I don't know if it was a marketing scheme or out of respect. Either way, I felt like I needed to own this to accompany my G.G. Allin record. I was a little upset when the G.G. Allin record showed up because you can see here on the spine, there's a little spine damage where the record kind of jammed through. Other than that, it's just black vinyl, just in a basic sleeve, so no reason to pull it out. I, of course, put it in this protective sleeve, but I ordered this off Amazon, dude. If you want some G.G. Allin records, you can get them off Amazon super cheap. However, G.G. Allin's brother has a Facebook page, and the Murder Junkies, the band more commonly associated with Gigi, they're doing a big tour right now, and they're probably coming to your town, so I'd check out, I think his name is Merle Allin. Add him on Facebook, and you should buy from him if you want some G.G. Allin merch or records or stuff. See what he's got first, and if he doesn't have what you need, obviously Amazon. You should just always, I try like to buy from the artist, even opposed to a record label. I did that for my Black Devotion record. Moribund Records had it super cheap, but I paid the extra. It was like $5 more to buy it from the actual artist himself. And in usual cases, they will appreciate that, and sometimes you'll even get a little something extra, like I did in that case. He included an autographed poster, which I think that alone was worth the extra $5, but even if you don't, whatever. Last record I got here is the Gwar Scumdogs of the Universe. I picked this up on Record Store Day. I know there's a lot of, this year I've seen it, feel like it's been a little more outspoken about people's views on Record Store Day, and either support or dislike or whatever, but for me, the purpose of a Record Store Day of my attendance is the rare freebies that they're giving out. I always think that's cool. Like, I got some cool guitar picks and stuff. And then aside from that, it's like this year they released the Sublime record, and to buy a Sublime record is, you know, the price is through the roof because it's been so out of press for whatever reason. So I was excited to see that for under $20 I could go buy a Sublime record. And then, you know, while I was there, Gwar has been such a huge influence on me. I know I'm talking punk rock, and these guys are a little more in the metal realm of music, specifically shown because they are on Metal Blade Records. But fuck, I've always just been, it's just the stage acts, and it's really like that punk rock attitude. It's very much there. You can see it's a pop-up. This is just such a cool release. Now, I didn't even know it, dude, when I bought this. This was a little more on the high price. I think I spent like $30 on this, which that's kind of high, but for what it is, my love of Dave Brockie and my love of Gwar and how deep the history of me and this band go, I felt like it was worth it. It is a double vinyl. These are both on black vinyl in just a standard sleeve, so I won't pull those out, but I did think that this printed insert was pretty cool, with just some like history of the band. You got some lyrics with little edits done to them, and I feel like that's fun. You know, all the funny stuff that they say in here. I think the standout quote that's coming to my mind now is the one that for Odorous, because you have each like an introduction to each band member, and it says a little thing, but the one I want to read to you is Odorous is Prime Minister of the Sinister has a brain transplant before each show, and tortures thousands just by opening his mouth, and he takes drugs seriously. He takes drugs seriously. It's like, what a funny phrase. And now I'm imagining that I never owned this back in the days. What I owned of Gwar was the Tour de Scum DVD, and I watched that a lot, and I had a couple CD copies. I never owned the full case. I bought from, you know, and traded through friends in school, because we always had this like trade community and like band recommendations. I had America Must Be Destroyed. The original Gwar, the album that introduced me to Gwar was the Carnival of Chaos. Somebody gave it to me, was like, dude, you're gonna like it. And when I hear Preschool Busted Dead, like, dude, that's so fucked up. It's so hilarious. It's so great. And I just immediately, I got it. I got where they were coming from. And I was fortunate enough to see many, many, many GWAR shows with my friends growing up. You guys that went with me, you're out there, you know you are. Man, those were some good times. I'm really glad I got to see them, you know, before Odorous died. What a big loss for the metal world. You know, with the heroin overdose, it's just another one to add to the list. Shit, I mean, I just showed you a G.G. Allen record. He died of heroin too. Fuck. Oh, and the Sublime record I was just talking about. Anyway, that's all I got out for today. Hope you guys like this Masartham playing in the background. I can't recommend that good enough, and I can't thank Canyon Bickle enough for showing it to me. Anyway, till next time, guys. Hail Satan.